Grand Canyon is spectacular any time of year, and I could say the best time to visit is any time you can get there. But that would be a cop-out, and also there'd be no reason for you to watch this video. I will provide specific dates for South Rim and North Rim last, because only about 10% of visitors make it to North Rim. But first, I'll give you my rationale. My opinion is based on visiting the canyon at least once a month over the last decade and staying between 2 to 4 days, all times of the year and in all weather. I've spent more than 300 nights staying at Grand Canyon. Plus, my opinion is as a visitor like you, not an employee. I don't get anything from anybody for making these recommendations. Traditionally, Grand Canyon was visited in summer, often as part of the Great American Coast-to-Coast Road Trip, like the Griswolds and like my first visit more than 50 years ago. I think, mistakenly, visitors often have the impression that Grand Canyon has consistently warm and sunny weather. I mean, Arizona is the land of saguaros, but sitting at an altitude of 7,000 feet at South Rim and 8,000 feet at North Rim, with a descent of about a mile to the canyon floor, Grand Canyon is subject to weather extremes. It can be covered in snow with frigid temperatures in the winter and have dangerously hot weather in the summer. Weather is the #1 cause of visitor rescues at Grand Canyon. Now, there is a special joy to visiting Grand Canyon in the busy season. The Chinese have a word, le nao, literally meaning hot noise, that describes the pleasure of being in a popular place among a crowd of people. Times Square on New Year's Eve is an American example. Being among the American families and international tourists who mob the canyon in high season can be a pleasure of its own. And peak season at Grand Canyon has evolved. Perhaps because of greater awareness of the weather extremes, the highest levels of visitation are in what used to be the shoulder season. The busiest months now are May and October. And with all due respect to le now, I think the busiest times are times to avoid. Wait times at the gate to enter the park can stretch to hours, and there are lines at the free shuttle bus stops and at the restaurants and attractions. Parking is frustrating and difficult to find. People block the views. If you can avoid it, peak season is not the best time to visit Grand Canyon. Additionally, I think because Grand Canyon is historically part of America's psyche and the Great American Road Trip, 3-day weekends and holidays get busy no matter what time of year. The canyon is a 1-day drive from a number of major cities, and families can spontaneously load up the car on a holiday weekend and have an adventure. The lodges do a nice job decorating for the holidays, and it's a joy to sit before a wood fire on a cold evening. But during the winter holidays, the rooms will be booked and the park will be packed. I recommend avoiding holiday weekends no matter what the season. Now, the quietest and cheapest time to visit the canyon is winter, particularly January and February, when visitation rates are less than 20% of the peak. An added bonus is that the Hermit's Rest Road is open to private cars from December 1st to February 28th, allowing you to visit some of the most spectacular viewpoints from your private car at your own pace. The rest of the year, you have to take a bus. During winter, room rates drop meaningfully, often close to 80% less than peak room rates. A room at Maswick Lodge costs $330 in May 2024, but with the right sales, only $69 in January. In winter, parking is easy, crowds are non-existent, and you can stand in popular spots on the rim at noon and still be there by yourself. I really like Grand Canyon in winter. But For the casual visitor, winter weather is unpredictable. At minimum, you need to bring clothes for sub-freezing temperatures, and often you'll need traction devices for your shoes on icy trails. In recent years, the Park Service has closed the rim drive for snow at the drop of a hat. This year, for the first time, they've started closing the rim drive in anticipation of storms, whether the road is dangerous or not. Anytime a storm blows through, you can experience reduced ability to visit the popular viewpoints on the rim. Plus, during big storms, traffic accidents are common, and in severe weather, even the road to South Gate can close. You should always consult the az511.gov traffic website and a weather website as well. Winter is great if you live close to the canyon and can reschedule a trip easily. I just canceled one because of bad weather. But if you're traveling a distance or you have a limited window of time to visit, I would avoid the winter months. Now, there is a time in late August when the summer heat mellows and families stay home to prepare for the school year and crowds decrease along with room rates. But it's still pretty hot at the canyon. That is not a time I would recommend. No, the time I recommend is the edge of the spring and fall visitation peaks. The first few weeks of March and the month of November up until the Thanksgiving holiday can give you moderate weather, thinning crowds, and reasonable room rates. Of course, in both March and November, snow and bitter cold is possible, but in general, the skies are clear and the temperatures are mild. Now, to narrow it further, if it's been a snowy year, in spring, there may still be ice on the pathways and trails, particularly if you hike into the canyon. In November, although there may be occasional fresh snowfall, it has not packed into ice, and the trails will generally be clear and safe. So, my most specific recommendation of the best time to visit Grand Canyon is the weeks in November before the Thanksgiving holiday. That's South Rim. Now for North Rim, the answer is faster and easier. North Rim visitor facilities are only open from May 15th to October 15th yearly, although the North Rim Road may be open until December 1st, weather permitting. There are no room discounts on North Rim, and the visitation rate remains about the same all season long, with peaks during rim-to-rim season, generally May 15th to June 1st and October 1st to October 15th. At that point, the heat conditions in the Deep Canyon tend to be more endurable. But a specific natural phenomena exists that makes the best date to visit North Rim easy, and that is the fall foliage. There are massive strands of aspen and sprinkles of maples along the drive and at North Rim that make an autumn visit a twofer. You get the canyon vistas, plus you get the beautiful foliage. Fall comes early at the high altitudes on the North Rim, and peak foliage dates vary year to year. But I recommend visiting from September 8th to October 8th. That's before the worst crush of rim-to-rim visitors and with the full spectacle of the fall colors. And if you stay at the North Rim Lodge, no rooms have air conditioning, so the cooling weather makes the visit more pleasant. Well, I'll go back on my word and say Grand Canyon is spectacular year-round, and you should go whenever you're able. But if you have flexibility, the best time to visit South Rim is on the edge of the busy season, March or November, with November being better. And the best time to visit North Rim is from September 8th to October 8th for both the views and the fall foliage. I wish you the best of luck in planning your Grand Canyon adventure, and thank you for watching.